So now I'm delighted to introduce back to Outsiders Andy Ngo. Now you will remember that Andy is a freelance journalist, documentary maker over in the States, in Portland, Oregon, one of the most left-leaning cities in America. And Andy has been yet again vilified, attacked, simply for trying to report the truth of what the left-wing, the hard left Antifa mob are doing in his hometown. Welcome back to Outsiders, Andy. How are you, Andy?
It's a pleasure to be with you.
Now, listen, tell us, Andy, you've been attacked, sprayed with chemicals, all sorts of stuff going on. We've got a couple of grabs to show, but talk us through what you've been up to and what the reaction has been.
So May Day in Portland was a celebration of Marxism, anarchy, and political violence by Antifa under the guise of celebrating workers' rights. Antifa is turning parts of the city into literal no-go zones, particularly for journalists who are willing to document the violent extremism. I was covering the event on the 1st of May as a journalist, and my camera equipment was first targeted, then I was punched in the stomach, and later sprayed in the face with a chemical that blinded me and burnt my skin. This was all done by masked individuals. There was another student journalist who I saw who was working on a class project who had his camera destroyed, and he was beat up by a group of men. The day after, an account sympathetic to Antifa released my parents' address online. And then when I was at the gym, a person that I recognized from these events attacked me and robbed me. So it's just been incident after incident after incident, all of which have been reported to police. And as far as I know, nothing's been done.
Well, Andy, let's have a quick look at those two. So first up, we'll have a look at the chemical spray. That's just coming up on our screen now. Okay, and we'll also have a look at the attack in the gym. So let's have a look at that one now.
Please, sir, please, sir. Guys, you want to video me like you do everyone else? I will break your phone.
So, Andy, we were talking earlier in the show about how the left, and Antifa supposedly stands, just to remind our viewers, Antifa supposedly stands for anti-fascist. They are, in fact, that's an Orwellian use of the word because they are more fascist than any other organisations out there. So what we were talking about earlier on the show, Andy, was the way that the left simply attack the individual when they can no longer defeat their arguments. Is that your experience?
Yes, and Antifa as a group, as a criminal group made up of thugs, they're delusional. They've declared everybody they oppose ideologically Nazis and fascists so that they have a justification to attack them physically, to assault them, and to dox them online. But I'm not going to back down. I'm going to continue to go to these events to document them because a lot of the mainstream media is not willing to go in to these areas to actually shine a light onto what's happening really here.
Not only are they not willing to go there, a lot of people in the mainstream media, some at CNN, glorify these protesters, compare them to people at wartime fighting Nazis. I mean, it is just insane. And you're not alone in being attacked. I saw you posted about back last year, a photographer had his head bashed with wooden pallets and had to get hospital treatment. And yet the Portland mayor seems to be supportive of these protesters.
He's never named them by their name, but he takes every opportunity to be extremely critical of right-wing demonstrators in the city, which is his rhetorical prerogative. That's fine. But I would like to point out that in practice, the state is really allowing these criminals to operate freely with impunity because they're allowed to mask up in public. So the people who attack me within eyesight of police quite frequently, the police never intervene. I ask for help immediately and they say they don't because that could be an escalation or incite the crowd. And then these people never get identified because not only are they covering their faces, they're wearing sunglasses and hoodies and they're all dressed the same. I don't know what needs to happen before there's a political will to actually enact some changes and enforce the law here.
Well, that's the thing that really disturbs me is because, you know, you've been attacked a number of times. It's only a matter of time before somebody could be potentially killed in all of this, and we hope to God that doesn't happen. But this is in downtown Portland. There would be businesses, there would be residents who are all suffering from this essentially occupation by this far-left sort of vanguard movement here. Surely the businesses are complaining and up in arms that they can't trade, that people can't go in and out of their homes without dealing with this sort of thing. Where's the politics of it? Is there going to be at all any backlash against this far-left progressive government there, or is it just too far gone?
Whatever backlash there is, it seems to be quite small, at least vocally, because those who speak out against Antifa are then smeared as being supportive of the far right or Nazis.
So if a business was to say, you know, say, look, we are tired of this, and they put in too many complaints, they could be targeted by the same group of thugs.
Oh, absolutely. What happens is they'll go and target their Yelp reviews. There's been other, particularly restaurants here, have been targeted by these thugs. You may have heard of the burrito food cart that was accused of appropriating Mexican culture and received death threats.
Oh,
These people, they're radical, they're extreme, and people need to stop taking their name literally. They are not anti-fascists.
Well, that's the thing. I mean, I listen to all of these descriptions. I see the way they behave. And just rhetorically, I would say, you know, I wouldn't call these guys a political movement. They seem more akin to the mafia.
Yeah, well, worse, the brown shirts. Andy Ngo, keep safe. Thank you so much. You do great work, and people can see you on YouTube, Andy Ngo, NGO. And I urge people to go and look at Andy's work. He's incredibly brave, does a great job. You're a real fighter, freedom fighter, and thanks so much, Andy. Rita just wants to say something.
And support him, because as a freelance journalist, people like Andy do need people to donate
100%.
so they can do this important work and document what's happening.
Fantastic. So all you wealthy outsiders out there, make sure you're supporting Andy Ngo.